This is the file called Pango OT, which is a set of open-type API that Pango provides to the modules that we used to have. So this is basically a wrapper around Harpos, a Pango wrapper around Harpos, where the Pango module is used instead of like directly using Harpos. There are basically three objects that Pango defines. One is called the Pango OT info, Pango OT rule set, and Pango OT buffer. The OT info is just an object for fetching information from the information about the open type layout features of the font. So basically what you have, you can get a Pango OT info object for the face, and then you can look up a script in it, and then find a language for the script, and then find a feature for the language and script. And you also have the list functions that list all the features, languages, or scripts of the font. This is very simple, wrapped around Harpos. And then you also have the rule set object, which basically you can create one, add a feature to, and then ask it to do substitution and positioning. Where a feature is added by just the feature index of the feature in the file, and a property field which ellipse should have this feature applied to. This is pretty standard Harpos like kind of API. I'm sure Qt has something similar to, same about ICU, I guess. And then the Pango OT buffer, which is a buffer that we add clips into, then ask the rule set to do the substitution positioning on. So with this, we were able to do open type position, open type checking for all kinds of scripts, but the problem was that, for example, for Arabic, we were forcing the script Arabic and the language system, the default language system, right? That's pretty much what Windows does. Windows doesn't support language systems. It doesn't support. It has a pretty simple OpenType support. In fact, most of the more advanced features are only available in Adobe software. So what I wanted to do for a long time was that Pango modules already know which language you are setting, so they just needed to pass that information down to Harpos. So I went on and added a few new APIs and some convenience stuff, such that the modules can do a lot with far fewer code. So basically, the first step was to add API to convert from OpenType tags to and from scripts and languages. So given a Pango script, I can get the Pango OpenType, the OpenType script tag for it, or the other way, and also from a Pango language. A Pango language is basically is a string like en-us, but it's defined that way. So these four are the glue to let the modules find the right OpenType tag from the script and language. And the implementation is basically a long table that I filled in using various tables from the Microsoft OpenType spec, and lots of ISO standard mapping languages. So it's not fun, it's not complete, but it does the job. So with just this simple API, now the modules can look up the right script and right language pass to the OpenType layer. The other problem I wanted to solve was that all the modules already had this code called
maybe add t-pose feature, maybe add t-solve feature. What it does is that it searches for a feature in the language system, and if it found it, adds it to the rule set. So it made a lot of sense to add that API, maybe add feature, that looks up the feature. If it's there, adds it. So then I also added this. So we used to have OT rule set add feature. I added a maybe add feature, which takes a tag. If the feature is available, adds it. If not, skip. And I also add a plural version, maybe add features. So you can pass the table to it, say, these are the features that I care about, just add them. So with these, I could rip off like tens of lines of code from each module. They each now have a table of the features they care about, and they could just straight add it. But I also made changes to the lookup functions here. So these are the three basic functions you use to find features in the file. You first find the script tag to use, then for that script you find the right language tag, and then you find the feature. Now, in both cases of the script and language, I also wanted to support the default language system, default script. And the discussion around this was recently raised on the OpenTalk mailing list, and unfortunately it's a real thing because the Microsoft spec defined a default DFLT script tag with capital letters, but the table listed is in small letters, so some fonts have this, some fonts have the other one. Same about the language system. There is a concept of the default language system for script in the OpenTalk spec, so there's no need to have a default language system tag anymore. But the spec on Microsoft side did define such a language tag, and some of the SIL fonts do use that. So I also updated my lookup function to also look for default scripts and languages. The return value is still false if the script you ask for is not found. But in the output variable, they will put the default tag if it's found. So what you can do is you can now simply ignore the return value of them and go to the next level. You look up for the add script. If it's not found, you get the default script. Then you look for the Persian language. If it's not found, you get the default language system. Then you look for the feature. If it's not found, you also get a special value which means no feature found. So you can just ignore, go ahead, add them. So the idea was to get to the point that we can have markup language or attributes that say, okay, enable this feature for this part of the text, or this text is in Urdu, use the Urdu variant. With these changes, I could get there to get Pango automatically use the Urdu variant if you run under the Urdu locale, which was pretty much a pretty much wanted feature for quite some time. But I also wanted to support this ability to add features to parts of the text. So I needed to find a way to associate rule set descriptions to the rule set, because creating a rule set, looking up all the features, is a relatively expensive task, and we want to cache the rule set. Previously, we just cached it because all the features were established. We knew that for Arabic, this is the rule set. But now, depending on your text, you have different features, right? So I also defined a struct called the Pango rule set description. Gets a script, language, the static t-solve features, the features that you always want to add, the static t-pose one, and a list of other features. And the other features are supposed to be the collection of the features that are passed to the shaping module and attached to parts of the text. For example, AALT or slash. So the shaper collects them and adds them to an array, adds it to the rule set description, and then asks to get the rule set for this. And Pango takes care of caching the rule set for this. So it hashes, looks up in a hash table and returns the rule set to you. So that's pretty much all the API I needed here, except that when I went on adding these features to the module, I figured that I don't know. There is still the issue of the order of the features in the table that I want to pass to Pango, and also about the order of the features when user adds some feature. When do you apply AALT or when you apply legal, all the features. The point is that there's no such thing as a global feature order in OpenType. And the interpretation of the standard depends on which side of the boundary you are looking at. From my side, is the shaper's responsibility to make sure that the features are applied in the right order. But from your side, I guess, you can argue that it's the responsibility of the font to put the features in the right order. And that makes a lot more sense because that's the way OpenType is supposed to work, I guess, because there's no ordering specified in the spec other than for the script specific features. And that's the way Harvard used to work, except for that there are fonts that don't work that way. So there were some fonts, I guess some of the older ones, maybe not that many. So at some point, Owen went on and made Harvard use the order that the shaper adds features to the rules and instead of following the font order. So that's probably one last piece of API I need here before I can go on and support arbitrary features. But and this is, in my opinion, a high-level API around what Harvard provides. And in the long run, I see porting something pretty much like this to Harvard itself. So if you have comments now on these stuff, it makes a lot of sense because I'm doing a Harvard OpenType layout engine rewrite in the background where I did work on it last Christmas. So with all these changes, this is my Arabic engine is 200 lines now. It used to be a lot longer. This is just the boilerplate. It's not the Arabic proper part, but it's basically it also supports an encode now, which is a new script added to Unicode 5, which has the same rules as Arabic. So we are handling both in the same module now. And I have a list of GSOP features here, a list of defaults, and the rest is pretty much common to all the modules. Create a buffer. This part is the only Arabic specific part. It gets the joining properties for each character. And then this is the main loop of any OpenType module I have here. Go over the characters. If it's non-spacing mark, start a new cluster. If it's 0 width, skip it. 0 width is a bad name for the characters that should not be rendered on the screen. Then apply mirror, get a mirror cat if you are on the right run. This is a hack to work around some of a bug in Microsoft Font. And finally get the glyph and add it to the buffer. And when I'm done, I just create the rule set description, get the rule set, substitute, position, output. That's all about it. So what I have in mind about the way we want to go with Esfahbod is to a place that we have a single instance of this main loop instead of separate code for every module. That's mostly all I wanted to talk about.
Does this handle Syriac as well?
We have a different Syriac module right now. Well, I plan to merge them, yeah. The only reason we had is that originally the list of features for Syriac was different because they have multiple final form, multiple medial form. But you can go on and look them up for Arabic. They are just not there. So it all works out, yeah. Yeah, for example, when you look up a language now, I first look up in the language system of the script. If I don't find it, I try the small letter DFLT tag. If I don't find that, return the default language system of the script. That's, question? Make sense?
Absolutely.
Alright, cool. Thanks.